We have some really, really cool stuff, and what we think is some really cool stuff planned up for you guys today. We're not going to do a regular presentation. We want to give you guys something different, some extra stuff that we really don't get a chance to do with the sea lions, but you guys really don't get a chance to see as well either. So what we're going to do is different kinds of training sessions. You guys have seen several different training talks throughout your experiences here. So we're going to do something not just a regular training talk, but we're going to do some behaviors that we generally don't do with our sea lions. We're going to do some training with our sea lions, some team behaviors. I can talk a little bit about that. What's going to happen first is we're going to have one of our younger sea lions, Queso, kind of come out here. If you guys haven't had a chance to meet Queso yet, he's 6 years old. He's learning a brand new behavior. It is almost completely done. We're trying to get it out for our regular presentations that are going to be throughout the day. So this is a little bit unique for him to come out here and do it at night. But what the goal of this is we call it blind bows. And if you guys don't know what a bow is basically the jump where they exit the water and then go back in with their face going in front. Okay? So they know how to do this behavior out in the front when we're walking with them. What we're trying to teach Queso to do is do 3 of these bows or these jumps with us away from the stage, starting from the back and going here in the front and exiting in the back, which is why we call it blind bows, because there's no trainers involved period at all. We're hoping to have this behavior into the regular day presentations relatively soon. So I'm hoping he's going to do really, really well tonight. So he's getting set up in the back. What he's going to do is he's actually there right now. I'm going to walk off stage, and if we get 3 jumps in a row, we need to get a lot of cheering. All right? We got one? Perfect. All right, here we go.
Buddy. He says no. Nope.
All right, how about that? All right. So this is the challenge that we as trainers been having with. He knows the behavior, what we call an underwater scamper, which is what he did. It starts at the same point that we want him to go with the bows, but he just stays underwater and exits in the same place we normally would have with the bows. So what we're going to do is we just reset and regroup. If you guys have heard the term an LRS before, from a training standpoint, when an animal does something we don't want them to do, or we don't want them to do again, or is incorrect, that's okay, but we just don't draw a lot of attention to it. So right now they're getting reset up in the back, they're going to try to set again, we're going to see what happens. If he doesn't get it again, we're going to add a couple prompts back in. But I think Queso's going to get it. So we're going to set up. Steve, you ready?
So reaction can I do? Go.
Yeah! 2!
I'm glad you guys got excited for that, because from our standpoint, that was a really, really big deal. Okay? Queso's going to give a huge party in the back, because the fact he did that without us helping him out a lot, and he did it, he was able to think on his own, doing it at night, which he's never done before, is a really, really big step. So he's getting a huge party in the back, he's going to go back to his room as smooth as everybody's having a party, we're going to come up with the next thing. But from a training standpoint, what you guys just saw, yes, it was really short and simple, but it's a huge milestone for Queso. So he did a really, really, really good job. I'm glad you guys are here to see it. Thanks for having fun with us. But we're going to move on to the next thing. But a lot of you understand is when we're doing these types of behaviors, we have to take a lot of different baby steps. There's a lot of different building up to get to that point. We can't just ask the animals to go out and do a jump. There's a lot of those, what we call approximations, with those baby steps that happen along the way. Now, I don't know what you may have heard earlier today, or maybe throughout some of the other trainer talks, but I don't want to talk too much about just the behavior aspect or how we train all the animals, because I think you guys really understand how we use the positive method of reinforcement, all that kind of stuff. What I want you guys to really see is how we can build relations with all the animals that we have here in a lot of different ways, and what we're able to do with these different types of behaviors. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to another group of animals coming out here. You haven't heard of Avalon before. Now Avalon is a sea lion that we would call in his prime sea lion years. Okay? Now we have several different sea lions here. We have 2 that I would call our veterans. They're like the trainer of trainers. All right. So we have Gunner and we have Rewind. They're 22 years old as Rewind, 27 years old as Gunner. Oh, and there's Avalon right there. And Avalon is in his prime years. Avalon right now is 14 years old. No, I'm sorry. He's 13 years old this year. And he is going gonna kind of come out here and do something different that we don't get a chance to do a lot. He's gonna come down here along the glass, kind of get a little bit closer with you guys. You guys put your cameras out and everything like that. I am gonna ask that all you guys stay in your seats because again, this is a learning opportunity for Avalon. Ben is out here interacting with them. He's done these types of sessions, trying to get this back, have a little bit of fun, make it fun and enjoyable coming out here at the glass. But Avalon here is a very highly energetic animal. So doing a relay session like this in a new environment, when he can get really, really excited, this is a really important thing for him to know that it's okay just to be calm and relaxed and just enjoy the moment, get to know Ben a little bit. Is one of the ways that we build that strong relationship with them. So when we're coming out here along the glass, this is a behavior that we can try to do throughout our interactions. It's something different, something fun, something enriching. Avalon seems to really enjoy doing these different things, especially with trainers like Ben that he has a very strong relationship with. But this is something that's kind of fun, it's kind of different, but also gives you guys a little bit different perspective. Of the California sea lion. So that's just Ben and Alan kind of having a little bit of play. That's one of the behaviors we had in one of our previous presentations before. And it's just a fun way for him to kind of remember something he did in the past, kind of bring it forward to current, and just have a little bit of kind of a playtime relationship building session with Ben in a different environment right here in front of the glass. Again, this gives you a little bit different perspective of just how large these sea lions really can be. So you can see Avalon's a little bit taller than Ben is right there. So you're talking the average sea lion is going to be 6 to 8 feet in height. And so he's right there, just over 6 feet tall, closer to that 7 foot mark. He's weighing in right now a little over 500 pounds. It's one of the largest sea lions that we have here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to kind of get off stage, I'm going to work my way up to the top, and I'm going to come down here after that. We're going to bring another sea lion out here and do an exercise type session, but this is going to be a little bit different where we're going to have 2 sea lions working together. So I'm going to make my way up, you're going to see how this kind of unfolds, and then I'm going to talk through these team contingent behaviors in this exercise session, all right? I'll be right back with you guys. So Avalon and Finch, they just did a double bow. So that is a behavior that they already know, but we don't get the chance to do a lot to it. So what we have to do is reinforce them intermittently from time to time to remind them what their behavior is. And in contrast to doing that bow together, now we're asking them to do it opposite of each other, but crossed at that second position, that second time. And then this, like I was mentioning before, we call team contingent behaviors. Again, this is something that we wanted to show you guys because it's not something we get the opportunity to do a lot with these sea lions often, okay? We do have the opportunity to do it, but we don't have the chance to do it as much as in other presentations. So you'll see it later on. You know what we call our advance, as well as the presentation when you come back day in, day out. So this is kind of a mix of an exercise type session, but having them think a little bit about having to do these behaviors together. Do those bows together, but opposite, crisscross to one another, do those hand walks together. Everything is now thinking of doing this together. And when we're doing it from a training standpoint, when we do these team contingent behaviors, this is a little bit different. If one animal is correct, but the other animal is a little bit incorrect, that's okay, but both are not going to get the attention drawn to it. They get that big, fun attention when both animals are doing it correctly. That teaches them to work together. Just like that, doing that hand walk. You guys are doing a really, really good job right now. Now, Avalon and Finch, they are roommates in the back, so in the back area, we actually have several different pools as well. Each animal has their own room space, along with a roommate or two. It really depends on the social grouping, the social dynamic of these California sea lions. It's really world, so not all sea lions can be together all the time, but these guys seem to really enjoy being together quite often. And you can see on that last one, that last final third valve, that wasn't exactly coming out of the water at the exact same time. That is something we wouldn't draw as much attention to as when they do come out at the exact same time. Again, we're looking a lot for that team contingent behavior. Fantastic. So as these guys are going to be exiting stage, we're going to move on to the next thing, which is going to be our, I believe we're going to have an Asian small-clawed otter come out here. His name, I think, is Rebel. Good job, boys. Now, I believe this Rebel is going to be coming out here. Now, Rebel is a 16-year-old male Asian small-clawed otter. Very different species. You guys are probably very familiar with these otters. So what is going to happen this time is we're going to go like a playtime type session. Now, if you haven't had the chance to see a lot of these otter playtimes before, this is Steve coming out here with some foraging toys. All right. Now, otters in general are natural foragers. All right. So I think Rebel's going to come out here. And he already knew what was going to happen. So Steve was out here, he tried to get his attention. He just got so excited going to that foraging toy. Now, this is something we can do for trainers to, again, build a relationship with each individual animal, but especially the otters, by using a behavior that is naturally occurring as that species, all right? So, have you had to get to know the species? What do they seem to enjoy as a species? Otters are foragers. They like to bury and look and then kind of go through things. So we can use these little puzzle toys and put things in them, kind of create little mazes so they have to use their brain to kind of figure out how do I get inside of it, what's going to be inside of it. Every time they get something, it might be a little bit different. That's what keeps it fun and enjoyable and playful and reinforcing for them. So when they're going through these little foraging toys, this is a really good way for us to play with the otters. This is also a really good way to reinforce the otters. So we can use this type of play as reinforcement. Or we can use this type of play as a type of interaction. We can reinforce them in other ways while we play. So I'm going to make my way actually down here while you enjoy Rebel playing right now. We're going to go to this other little basket over here where you might have ice, you have a little ball. Again, these foraging toys are specialized to otters. You wouldn't use these same type of toys or interactions with the California sea lion. So again, I'm going to make my way down here while you enjoy Rebel over here with Steve, and I'll keep on talking with you guys for just a little bit.
He says child's play.
And he's still going for it. Now inside there, what Steve is holding is just a variety of his diet. And the otters that we have here, their diet primarily consists of capelin, shrimp, and what we have a very small lake smelt. The variety of their diet is actually very important. They get a lot of the water throughout that they need, like drinking glasses of water. They get a lot of the water for their biological needs through the food that they eat. So having very water-rich foods like your shrimps and your smelts, that's really important for the diet for the otters. So these guys out here, like the Rebel, he just really enjoys and needs to have that type of reinforcement. So I think he had a really, really good time. It was really good. Thanks, Steve. But when we're doing playtimes like this is really where the sky's the limit to the things that we as trainers can come up with to reinforce and play with the animals. So this type of foraging type of playtime, they naturally enjoy to do it, so we can use that. But realistically, we can come up with a wide variety of ways to play, to interact, to just have fun. Play is very important. It's really important that they have a variety of type of interactions that I'm sure you guys have heard about throughout your day here today or throughout your time here at SeaWorld. So one of the things that I always like to tell people before we go into this next segment that we're going to do is when we do our regular presentations throughout the park, whether you're going to Orca Encounter, Dolphin Adventure, here, or Clippers Fun FX, we have all we do is we have this variety of ways that we interact with our animals every single day, right? So we have our playtimes, our relationship building, we have our learning sessions, we have our exercises, all these different things you saw a little bit about. When we do those presentations for the guests, such as yourselves, when you guys come, all that is like a clip note version of all the different ways we interact with them, put together in an 18 to 22 or so minute presentation. And then we might add a couple of person talking on a microphone, we might add some music in the background, but all it is a different way that we interact, putting it all together. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of put everything together, and what we're going to do is our regular end dance that we do for our presentation is very similar to that exercise, but we throw in our relationship building, we can throw in a playtime. Every time we do an interaction, every time we do a presentation, it's going to be a little bit different. But the big takeaway is, it's the same thing we do every single day with our animals in a variety of different ways, but we put that all together so you all will get a chance to see and experience it. So what I want you guys to do right now is enjoy our finale, our end dance, and I'll be back in just a little bit. Joining us tonight, having fun with us. We had a blast out here doing these different things for you guys. Thank you so much again. Enjoy the rest of your night. Right here soon, everybody. Good night.